Hey everyone, I just want to shoot a quick video for you today, kind of just a check-in and just a little bit of a discussion about everything that's going on. First of all, I just want to say that I'm struggling. I'm not going to lie, I'm really struggling. This is a lot. And I know many of you are too. And I know that you see me on camera almost at my best or kind of at my best, or when I'm at least able to feel like I want to do something. I'm not always like that. I'm struggling just as much as many of you are. I don't have any focus right now. I don't want to work. All I want to do is just doom scroll all day long. I find myself days where I'm just addicted to social media and the internet, and I don't want to do anything else. I want to eat bad food. So everything you guys are all going through, I am definitely going through too. I am, however, finding ways to take care of myself. I'm not letting that get too out of control. I've been very centered, very focused on my body, my mental health, my physical health. I went out and did almost a 5 mile hike the other day, like with a backpack and everything. I am trying to make myself healthy foods, even when I want to eat junk food. It's healthier junk food because I make my own, and if I need to just watch TV all day or doom scroll all day, I'm doing that. But I'm being aware that I'm doing it, and I'm still checking in with my body and my mind, and I'm being like, okay, this is really stressing me out. Maybe it's time to turn it off. So I think the message is, and one thing that I have learned through all the years that I have been in therapy, is to honor your process. If you need to just watch TV and watch movies and tune out and even eat bad food all day, fine. Maybe that's what you need to do right now. But you also have to be aware of the whys of what it is doing for you. If at first it feels healing and nourishing, and then it turns into not feeling healing and nurturing, it turns into, days and days and days of not being able to get up, days and days and days of eating unhealthy food and not getting exercise and not talking to people, then that might be something that you might need to talk to a friend about, or maybe even a professional. I don't know what I would do without my therapist right now. Anyway, I'm Carolyn, and this is As I See It. This is my political channel. So I just wanted to check in a little bit on the mental health. None of us have ever been through, at least those of us who were born in the United States have never been through anything like this before. We do have a lot of immigrants who escaped this in other countries, and now we're dealing with it here. And it's a lot to deal with. None of us knows how to deal with it. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. We don't know where. I know I'm feeling, gosh, everything. Like one day it's like, okay, I'm going to drive to Washington, D.C. and I'm going to march every day. And then the next minute it's like, no, you know what? I'm just going to hide out and do what I can from my RV and continue to travel. And so I'm sharing my process because I just want you to know you're not alone. Whatever you're feeling, anything you're feeling, all of the feelings, somebody else is feeling them too, probably millions of people. So kind of now, let's talk about logistics of what's going on. I posted that Ezra Klein video the other day, and I'll link it again in the video description just in case you didn't see it. And also, by the way, check my community tab on this channel. Just go to my main As I See It page, and about halfway down the page you'll see community. I post a lot there when I can't drum up the presence I need to be on camera. I'll post a lot of stuff there. It takes a lot to be on camera. I know you think I just turn on the camera and talk. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of control, depending on I have to do research, I have to do reading, and even just being on, it's a lot. I know it looks easy, but it's not. So a lot of times when I can't be on camera, I'll post things there to help you, to inspire you, to encourage you. And Ezra Klein did this video about how he's bombarding the news and the media with all these horrible, disgusting things he's doing. And that's by design. It's to confuse us. It's to immobilize us. He wants us overwhelmed. He wants us stressed out. He wants us to sit down and let him take over our country and gut our government and steal from us. And so what he has done the first couple of weeks has been a strategy. And this strategy. I've done this before. It should be strategy. A cross between tragedy and strategy. Anyway, this has been on purpose. It's been a strategy to overwhelm us, blitzkrieg, basically, the first 2 weeks with all this disgusting things that he can possibly do to outrage us, to scare us, to cause alarm, and to get the media talking about him. Because it's all about him and him and him. Every fucking media, every headline is fucking Trump and executive orders and, oh God, look what he's done now. Here's the good news. A lot of it isn't going to stick. We are already seeing the courts fight back and say, no, you can't do that. I support the ACLU. They are already filing lawsuits. We've got Indivisible who's working. We've got all these nonprofit organizations that are working to stop him. And we're already seeing both him and Elon Musk are already getting stopped by the courts. So it's not all lost. We still do have some guardrails, as flimsy as they might feel or seem or even be right now. They are there, and we are seeing some things he's had to pedal back on. I mean, look at the tariffs with Canada and Mexico. Of course, I got in a freaking debate. I keep hearing cars. I got in a debate with a Trump supporter yesterday on one of my news channels. They're celebrating him. They're celebrating everything he's doing. They're giddy with glee and happiness, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick to see people giddy with excitement over the health and safety and security of other people. That other people are going to lose their rights, and they're fucking downright giddy about it. And it's disgusting. And I know part of me, is thinking we need to learn from MAGA. We need to learn from Republicans. Part of me is thinking, you know what? How much is my life really going to change? As a white woman, part of me is like, okay, I go about my life, and how much of my life is really going to change? Probably not much. I'm worried that I'm not going to have Social Security, but I've been worried about that for a long time anyway. So part of me is like, well, if I don't care about anybody else, then, I can just live with my head in the sand and just live my life. Some things are going to change. I'm worried about my future income. I'm worried that if we go into a depression, my revenue depends on advertising, on everything, or direct contributions from the people who watch my content, which is maybe 30% of my revenue. And if people are too poor to start being able to support my work, so I do have some personal concerns about the future, but I'm also thinking, as a white woman, my life really probably isn't going to change that much, especially someone who isn't going to need reproductive health care. So if my life isn't really going to change that much, maybe I'm extremely concerned and worried and anxious and stressed over nothing. But then again, I'm a liberal and I care about other people, and I can't just sit here and be like, oh, my life is fine. Oh, you know what? Okay, well, I'll call my senator to maybe help the black people and the LGBTQ people, and I'll just live my life. I can't do that. I wish I could, but I can't. And I think that's the problem. That's the challenge that we as progressives have, is that we do care about other people, and it's not just about me. And if my life isn't going to change that much, somebody else's will. Somebody else will die. Families will be torn apart. Rights of other people will be stripped away. People are going to suffer, and I'm not okay with that. I am not okay with my tax dollars supporting that. I am not okay with my representative government endorsing that, causing that, celebrating that. I can't just sit here and say, my life is okay. That's what MAGA does. a lot of things that he's doing aren't going to stick. And we have to just constantly remind ourselves, if we need to go down a rabbit hole for a couple hours or a day on news, recognize that we're doing it. Recognize that I don't know why we're doing it. That's just feeding our fears and our anxieties. For the most part, I pull away. Recognize that we can't constantly be on it every minute, every hour of every day, because the purpose is to overwhelm us into immobilization. They want us to just be so overwhelmed that we check out, and we can't afford that. So take it from me, try to monitor how much news you get, try to monitor how much social media you're doing. Self-care is number one. We aren't going to be any good for anyone if we don't take care of ourselves. So there's that. And what was the other thing? So everything isn't going to stick. And if we continue to just watch every ridiculous thing he does, then we're really falling into his plan. He wants us. This is the narcissistic, the toxic, malignant narcissist. He wants our attention every second of every day. Think about it that way. He wants my attention. He wants, every malignant narcissist has this sadistic element. That's a part of narcissism. I've learned that in therapy, dealing with a lot of narcissists in my life, that there is a sadistic element to that, and he's a sadist. We know that. And his sadism wants to hurt us because it keeps us engaged with him. It keeps our attention on him. So don't give him that. Turn off the news. Check in with your news sources once a day, maybe twice a day. Turn off the alerts. And if a lot of the things that he's doing aren't going to stick, then there is still hope. The other thing that I want to say is keep calling your representatives. I have been calling. I hate the phone. I have been putting this on social media. This is a true story. I have turned down sponsorships, good sponsorships, because they're like, okay, great, let's jump on a call. No. Literally, I've turned down several sponsorships because they won't do it all by email, which is dumb. I don't know. Everybody does everything by email. We don't need to talk on the phone. But that's how much I hate the phone. I am willing to give up money so that I don't have to talk on the phone. And I've been calling my representatives, and it's getting easier. I'm talking to the aides. My cadence is getting more relaxed. I'm getting more conversational rather than just nervously reading off the script. And just remember, when you do call, you're speaking to aides, and they're just as overwhelmed as we are. They are Democrats. They work for these elected officials. They are feeling exactly what we're feeling. So just have a conversation with them. Listen, I want to know, what's Jackie Rosen doing? And I said that, how are you guys feeling? Like, well, how is she feeling? Because I'm not seeing the outrage from her, and I really need to see her act, and so I'm having real conversations now. So make sure to keep calling your representatives. It's making a difference. I have been seeing all over social media that all the senators are like, we're getting 1,600 calls a minute compared to 40 in normal times. So keep up the pressure. I am seeing my other senator, Senator Cortez Masto, is actually starting to post on social media daily, several times a day, about this is what we're doing. It's not enough. I mean, I still feel like Donald Trump is doing this and we're not going to allow it. Okay, great. So call her again and say, okay, you're not going to allow it? Well, I want A, B, C, D. I want bullet points. What are you going to do to not allow it? Talk is cheap, and they're hearing that a lot. I want to know. I want action. I don't want to hear talk. What are you going to do? And so they're really helping. Our phone calls are really helping. They're hearing us. The constituents are talking. And I want to have a special word with blue dots in red states. I'm hearing from you. I'm not going to call because it's Mitch McConnell. I'm not going to call because it's MAGA and they don't care. I just heard of oh my gosh, I don't remember the state, Kansas Republican senator is backing down on MAGA, saying he is not going to support this freeze on U.S. aid, that it's unconscionable that he's doing this, it's cruel, it's awful, and this is a Republican. He is starting to soften because I'm going to say, of the phone calls. You don't have to call your red governor or your red senator or your red representative and tell them that you voted Democrat. You can tell them you voted for them and say, listen, this isn't what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for you to gut the government and for you to sit back and let him overturn our democracy. I was about grocery prices. Pretend you're MAGA. I am struggling with hearing it's not going to do any good, because that's how we got here. The people who sat at home and didn't vote because my vote doesn't count, it's not going to do any good. It's not going to do any good for me to call my MAGA representatives. And I know you're probably sitting there arguing with me right now, but if they don't respond to the people who put them there, and again, they don't have to know who you voted for. They don't know who you voted for. Even if you're registered as a Democrat, they don't know who you voted for. Call them. Put the pressure, especially on the red senators. They're the ones who we need. We need 2 or 3. We need 2 or 3 senators to flip and side with the Democrats, and we can slow this down. We can stop a lot of it. 2 or 3 senators. So if you start calling your red senator and everybody who doesn't like what they're doing starts calling and putting pressure on them, you might be able to reach their conscience. You might be able to. But if you don't say anything, they're just going to continue to do what they do, because what do they have to lose? Try. That's all any of us can do right now, is try. Do our best. We can't do everything. We can just do our best. So that's all I wanted to leave you with today. Let me know how you're doing. Leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time. Take care.